Hi guys, let's start with the first technical article in strategic business reporting, that is accounting ethics in the digital age. Now, what exactly is this article all about, sir? In short, in clear terms, we know that there is one question in SBR, the question number 2 in section A of your paper. A part of this question usually tests the ethical standards or ethical dilemmas or ethical conflicts for the accountant, right? So we know that, for manual conflicts we have a series of steps, like first the accountant has to talk to the person who is committing that particular fraud or who is committing that particular error, talk to them, explain them the accounting standard, why is it necessary, and then what happens if you violate the particular standard, if you deviate from the standard. Then talk to the supervisors, if the supervisor is himself involved in the fraud, if the hierarchy, the next person, the next level is also involved in the fraud, then talk to the subsequent. If everybody, if the top level, the CEO, CFO, the managing directors, the whole time director in charge of finance, everybody are actually involved in the fraud. In that case, what you have to do, you have to contact the ethics board of ACCA and get the guidance from them. You also have to make sure that you contact your advocate, your lawyers, and your legal team, so that whatever consequences are to be faced by you, you will not be able to. You will not be liable for legal consequences or legal actions. So this sequence of steps we discuss in the normal problems. But this technical article is not about that. This technical article is about, in the digital age, what are the ethical standards that an accountant is required to be maintaining. Now, sir, what exactly are we talking about a digital age here? So when we say digital age, so we are referring to few technologies. What are those technologies, sir? The first one is DLT technology, which is our favorite, that is blockchain. Then you have AI plus ML, artificial intelligence plus machine learning. You have the concept of big data. Okay, so these are few technologies which are, we in short call them as fintech, financial technologies. So these fintechs are basically the upcoming technologies in the world of finance. So DLT, distributed ledger technique, which talks about the blockchain. Then you have artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data. So these technologies are gonna be replacing our accountants, undoubtedly. It's not like they're gonna replace the entire fraternity of accountants, but they are going to play a very crucial role as we move forward. Sir, I'll tell you a simple example. Previously we used to print hundreds of reports called as MIS reports, management information system reports. So they are very basic data. The format will remain the same. Like, there we used to, when I used to do an audit for one of the public bank in India, in Andhra, Hyderabad actually, now Telangana. Okay. Anyways, when we used to do the concurrent audit of a particular branch of a particular bank in Hyderabad, every month we used to issue 55 pages of an audit report. The content remains the same, literally the same format, same template, same content. What we know is we used to have a series of what do you call it, an index file, where we used to mark that, okay, go to page number 13 in paragraph number 4, this number you have to modify, or this particular wordings you have to change. So we have a series of changes that need to be made in that audit report, and we used to give the same audit report, the 55 pages audit report, every month. Sir, imagine, this is a very robotic task actually. Isn't this very a repetitive task kind of a thing? Previously we used to do it manually because there were not technologies that are required. But now, I can actually use technology. I can use MS Office. Not MS Office as such. I can integrate Microsoft Excel with Microsoft Word, where I'll create a table in Microsoft Excel for those particular fields and connect that to the Word document and use mail merge or whatever techniques or whatever technology. I can use them and make sure that my audit report is automatically prepared. Now imagine this becoming a part in a company where hundreds of activities, repetitive tasks, which previously manually used to be done by people, now are becoming automated, which becomes, basically, it cuts down half of the redundant tasks. Now, So with that being said, keeping that in our mind, so these kind of technologies, this is nothing but artificial intelligence combined with machine learning. Usually we use Python, or else we can use UiPath for automation purposes. These are the softwares, or these are the technologies which we use. Anyways, coming back to our discussion here. So these technologies are going to be a very crucial role for the accountants. They are going to play a crucial role in the accountant duties and responsibilities. Now, sir, does that mean I, as an accountant, should actually know all these technologies? Like, should I learn UiPath? Should I know what robotic process automation is? Should I know how manual systems are converted into an automated systems? Should I know what big data is? Yes. You should know what they are. You should know how they are going to work. You should know what is their functionality. You should know how they impact your business. Doesn't mean you need to know the coding behind that. Doesn't mean you need to know how to do automation. As long as you know what is being automated, how it is being automated, what will be the outcome of that. You don't need to know how automation is done. You don't need to know the background work, but you need to know what exactly is happening. So what happens if I don't know? I'll tell you a simple example which covers the entire technical article. Basically, the example is, your manager came to you and told you that, see buddy, we have this particular notification, mail kind of a thing, which need to be sent to every customer. There are, let's say, 5 million customers for us. So a particular notification has to be sent to 5 million. So you'll be like, sir, okay, sir, send it to all. But the problem is the notification is personalized. Personalized as in, it should show like this, something like this. It should say that the name of the customer should be addressed in the notification. Hey, Mr. Robert, or hey, Miss Jennifer. So the notification has to address their name first of all. That is one point. Second point is that the notification should include their existing closing balance of their receivable. These are all our customers, right? So customers means we might have their closing balances. Again, there has to be a conditional logic applied here. So what do you mean by conditional logic? So if they do not have any closing balances, I want to say that congratulations, or else I want to say that it is observed that we do not have any receivables from you. You have cleared all your pending dues. Or if there is any balance that is receivable, then it has to show the amount of that balance. And similarly, I want the system to check what was the last date of transaction with that particular customer. Was it 2 months back, 3 months back, 6 months back? And if that transaction is more than 6 months old, like since the last 6 months the customer did not transact with us, I want that notification to send them stating that we haven't done a transaction with you for the last 6 months. So here you go, we are giving you a coupon of 10% off on your next purchase or next transaction with us. So I want the system to do this particular activity. So if it is done manually, imagine 5 million customers. I have to check their balances. I have to check their last date of transactions. Accordingly, I have to change the content of the notification, send it manually to 5 million people. Impossible task, isn't it? Now imagine a system automatically doing this stuff for you and sending out notifications to everybody, personalized notifications. Okay, sir, amazing, it's excellent, it works good, fine, but how is it connected to my ethics as an accountant? What am I supposed to do in this particular scenario? I'll tell you. So the programmer came to you, you explained him the requirement, you told him that, see, these are the requirements, these are the variables, these are the fixed contents, so based upon these variables this content has to be grabbed and then attached and all that stuff you told him. Now he's like, okay sir, give me the database. You're like, what do you mean by giving you database? He's like, sir, I need to run the program, I need to know the client's name, email ID, balances, the last date of transaction, give me that entire data, I'll run the program. You are like, okay fine, your boss told you to do that, so you gave the entire data to that particular programmer. So the next day this entire data has been leaked on the internet or sold on the dark web. Now who is responsible for this? Your manager, whoever has told you to do that, he won't take the responsibility. He's like, I asked you to get the program done, I did not ask you to give the information to the programmer. Here it happened purely because you don't know how to do it, you don't know what it is, so you're like, acha, if he's asking, it means he may need that, so you gave him unauthorized data. So as an accountant, it is inherently mandatory for you to know these particular technologies. Doesn't necessarily mean that you know the in and out of that, you know the programming of that, but you should know. So let me, if, in case you don't know what these technologies are, one second, I mean, sorry, less than a minute, 15-20 seconds, I'll try to explain each of these things. So blockchain is a distributed technology where instead of storing the server, storing the data on one particular server, we store it on multiple nodes basically, which automatically update whenever there is a change, and these updates are to be authorized by multiple people. 51% rule will apply, so one person cannot manipulate the data basically. So that is blockchain. And the data is already authorized because any transaction has to be authorized by more than 50%, 51% of the participants in that ledger. So audit becomes very easy. The chain of activities are very clearly listed. So your cryptocurrencies, your major cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is dependent upon the blockchain technology. Even UK land registration details are being now used using blockchain technology. So in case if you want to know in detail about blockchain, we have a separate playlist on Global Finex where we discussed about what is blockchain, what is the use of that, with 18, 15, 20 use cases that are covered. The playlist has 18 videos. I don't know how many of them are use cases, maybe 15, 16. So use cases as in practical examples. If you are still not satisfied with 15 use cases, we have a blog where 150 blockchain use cases are updated by Premchand Kasi sir. 150 real life practical examples where blockchain is used. So if you want to learn more, we always have the resources, sir. It's up to you whether to use it or not. Second, artificial intelligence. Sir, artificial intelligence means what? Your robo. Basically, a soft robo will be there, not the hard robots and all that physical stuff. A programmer, a computer program will be there, which automates the tasks that are there. See, for example, if you enroll for the classes with GFX, what happens is the moment you make the payment, automatically that payment will be sent to the admin team for cross verification. A notification will be sent to the software team to issue you the credentials. Both of them will cross verify with each other that is payment is received or not, and immediately credentials will be given to you. The moment you make the payment on the website, you will receive a PDF file that includes the Telegram notification, Telegram link of that particular subject, and once you join, there will be a bot on the Telegram group, and the bot will welcome you. And what happens is, it will ask you what resources do you need. So if you say I want technical articles, it will show you the list of technical articles. If you ask the bot, I want to have access to the class notes, the digital class notes that we use, the bot will tell you go to this particular website, these are the credentials, you log in with your credentials, and you will be able to access the class notes. So everything is so automated. That is called as artificial intelligence. Machine learning means basically, you cannot hard code everything into the system during the initial phase. The system has to learn by itself some of the aspects. The system has to understand that, okay, if this is used, this is what they mean. Okay, if I say country, and after country, if I use a drop down for state, the system has to automatically understand that based on this drop down, if I select India in the country, only Indian states has to be shown. So the state has to be auto-populated based on the country drop-down. So like that, the machine has to understand by itself. That is called machine learning. And then big data, so this is covered in depth in advanced performance management, APM paper. But big data is basically a collection of huge volume of data like Facebook. Facebook usually has a huge volume. It knows your favorite color. It knows your favorite food. So Facebook never asked me. Yes, it did. You play those quizzes or you play those games on Facebook. Which character of Game of Thrones are you? And then they'll ask you a bunch of questions. You think that the program is just trying to figure out which character is more suitable for you, but actually the program is collecting all this data from you, which they'll be selling to various people basically. And you just agree all, submit, agree all, submit. You never care what are the terms and conditions. The biggest problem with this generation. Anyway, sir, these are the technologies. Now you might be asking me, sir, is it really important for me to learn and understand these technologies? Will SBR exam test this? Let me show you a very practical case and you will be done with this. So let me very quickly go to Sbr Passed Papers from ACCA portal. So here we have the first link. Come on, quick. Okay, so past papers. The first paper must September-December 2020 questions. Let me just very quickly click on that and open this up. We know that ethical standards are tested in the second question of the syllabus. So let me question of the question paper. So let me scroll down to the second question. Let me stop there. Let me zoom it a bit And here we have, look at this, my dear friends, distributed ledger technology. And look at the ethical question, discuss the way in which the chief accountant should have acted to ensure that he maintained ethical standards in dealing with the issue described. Sir, here the same fact, whatever we have discussed till now is covered in this. Look at this. Calibra company has recently started using the distributed ledger technology, that is the blockchain technology, to sell the shares in property to the investors. Blah 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 blah. So see, private concerns over the reliability of the due diligence, basically how well the audit is being conducted. And look at where, yes, this is, although the chief accountant has very basic knowledge of deals, he has assured the directors that he can facilitate this move. Sir, he himself doesn't have complete clarity, but he told them that yes, I can do this particular stuff. The project has been approved by the board despite the private reservations of this particular person. He is only recently qualified as an accountant and is also wishes to be employed with Calibra Co on a permanent basis. Sir, here he has a self-interest motive. He wants to become a permanent employee for the company. That's why he is saying that yes, I will take care of it, even though he doesn't know detail DLT. He is saying that yes, I will take care of that. So here you can see the ethical dilemma that is available. So you have to make sure that your answer addresses those stuff. Okay. So let me just very quickly go through the article, summarize this. So ethical dilemmas are common these days, and these are the threats that are there: self-interest threat, familiarity threat, intimidation threat, self-review threat, and advocacy threat. All of these are covered in your audit and assurance syllabus. Then you have ethical principles that are changing according to the digital age. Now, the most important thing is breach of data or security. That is the crucial thing. So we don't expect the accountant to know how to install firewall systems or antivirus systems and all. We want you to understand the protocols that are needed to be designed. Okay, you as an accountant should know which data should be accessible for which particular party. Okay, the roles and responsibilities, their authenticities, their hierarchy levels, you should be able to design them and you should be able to implement them properly. Okay, so all of this stuff is covered in this. So again, you can see here distributed ledger technology. Distributed ledger technology is a digital system for recording the assets transactions, and you can see that they have given you a practical example where the UK land registry systems are also using the DLT systems. All that stuff is covered for you here. And so here is what you have to understand now. Yeah, this part, see, how do you address an ethical issue when you are dealing with the digital age? So you must determine the nature of the decision that has to be taken. Is it going to impact a huge population or huge, what do you call it, number of people, or is it going to impact only a close set of people? Second one, you need to understand whether it is a long-term impact or whether it is going to impact only in the short term. Is it going to impact the company's overall ethical standards or not? Is it going to impact the company's rights and responsibilities or individual rights and responsibilities? What about their code of governance, code of ethics, whether they will be implemented, they will be impacted or not? So you have to understand from that, and also you have to understand that different people involved will have different arguments for why they have done that, and all that stuff. So you should not be judgmental, you should not be biased. What you need to do is you need to handle the cases with integrity and all that stuff. Basic common sense points, nothing more than that. Yeah. So you need to formulate a solution that does justice to the arguments for and against the actions that need to be taken. So you have to do a basic pros and cons, list of pros and list of cons, and then compare that and weigh them and all that stuff. You need to take into account the negative consequences of either taking that decision or not taking the decision and all that stuff. So that, my dear friends, is our first technical articles, that is accounting ethics in the digital age. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, guys.